There is always something goofy going on in the Pokemon market, whether it's market manipulation or just plain old FOMO. My name is Jack, you're watching JBTCG, and today we're going to talk about the pricing for the Surging Sparks Pikachu and why I think it's a terrible investment. To start, let's check the price on this thing. Right now, it looks like it's right around $500 on TCG Player. Just a couple days ago, it was up at $570. So obviously, this is not even close to settling out in the market if it's able to fluctuate $75 within the span of a couple days. And as we always know, pre-release pricing is incredibly volatile, and pretty much investing into cards in pre-release is usually a terrible idea. Now obviously there are exceptions to the rule. The Greninja went up around 250 to 300% since pre-release, and the Pikachu itself has actually shot up around 150 to 175% since pre-release pricing, so it already has made gains. It's already completely bucked the trend, and I didn't think it was going to go up from pre-release. I thought that $300 to $400 price tag was kind of the peak, and then it would settle back down into the 200s, maybe even into the 100s, but I was proved 100% wrong on that. However, this price growth in this massive fluctuation that it's had makes me think that it is a terrible investment at $500. And the reason for that is the simple goals and rules for investing in general. You want to minimize your risk as much as possible while maximizing your upside. Something that would be minimizing risk would be buying a booster box at around $100, because we know they don't really go much further below $100, and over time, pretty much, or not even pretty much, every single box that has been out for more than 4 or 5 years is above $100, and most of them are above $200 at that point. But investing into a single card the week of release, when it's $500 and could get reprinted however many times over the next 2 to 3 years while it's in rotation, is not a low risk investment. That is an incredibly high risk investment. There is no floor on single cards, and obviously demand for this and it being a Pikachu card will probably prevent it from getting very low in price. But what we've seen with the Vivid Voltage Pikachu, which was an incredibly popular card in 2020, is that it was worth around $300, even more dollars, right around release, and even the first 6 months there. But since then, it's pretty much only fallen in price, and this is because, one, the set was highly demanded on release, and they didn't have enough product to keep away scalpers because it was getting scalped everywhere, kind of similar to Surging Sparks, and then they reprinted it into the ground. They reprinted the set a ton. They made products very accessible to where you can still get their ETBs on the Pokemon Center right now. You can actually also get the booster boxes on the Pokemon Center for $143 right now as well, if you're in the US. I don't know about the UK or Canada or anything like that. But the moral of the story is, we've seen this before. Big cards can get big pricing right at pre-release, and even through a year or 6 months after release, they can be incredibly expensive. But if the Pokemon Company decides to reprint a set a ton, then the value of the card can get pushed into the ground. Now obviously this doesn't happen all the time, and I'm not saying that the Pokemon Company is going to reprint this set into the ground. But what I'm saying is that it's very possible that they could, and that's a risk you're taking investing in a single card at $500. You know what I think would be a much better investment? Crown Zenith ETBs. You could buy these, I'm gonna go retail price, or not retail, TCG Player price, market price, right around $56. So you could get 9 of these or 8 of these. I think that these ETBs could go to $100 much easier than that Pikachu could go to $1,000. Same thing for Lost Origin. You could get a case of ETBs for right around $500, and I don't even think that's a great deal. But I think that these ETBs have the potential to go to $700, $800 and be a much safer investment rather than the Pikachu. Will that Pikachu ever touch $700, $800? We have no idea, but we've seen that ETBs and other sealed products can go up in price easily over time, and $70 to $80 per ETB isn't that crazy, especially when a set's been out for 3 or 4 years. Like, take a look at Champion's Path, which I don't even think is a great set, but its ETB is pretty expensive. I think Crown Zenith is a much better set, and its ETB, say it'll just be worth the same amount as a Champion's Path one in 2 years. I think its odds to perform that well far outweigh the Pikachu's odds of performing well in the future. Now, I'm not ignorant to the fact that you can make money off of this card. I think you can do it pretty easily, and this is what a lot of people are doing. I think a lot of people that are buying these cards for these incredibly high prices right now are playing the grading game. This is where you buy cards that are brand new, like pre-release or just after release, like right now. And you grade them and you get it back, and you're one of the first people to have a graded copy of that card. Those cards also get a premium, much like pre-release pricing, except it comes like 2 or 3 weeks after release usually. And if you look at the price premiums that these cards get in a PSA 10 very early on, it's incredibly high. Like if you take a look at the gold cards from Crown Zenith, those ones were pretty expensive on release, and their PSA 10 copies were incredibly expensive. So I think that a lot of people that are buying this Pikachu card raw on eBay are looking to flip it in grading. I don't think they're looking to invest in it, and that's why I also don't think it is a good investment, because it has all this demand from people trying to flip and make money grading that the prices are further inflated by that demand. And I could be wrong about a lot of this stuff. I'm not the authority on singles investing. I mainly invest in sealed cards, and I do have a couple single investments, but from my perspective, where I'm a sealed investor, where that stuff is generally much more stable and you kind of know the price minimums and floors for all the different products, investing in a $500 Pikachu card a week after release just seems like way too big of a risk for me. If you're investing in this Pikachu, congratulations on your massive cojones. I could not do that, and I hope it turns out well for you, but I'm just not a big fan of that play. Also, sealed products for Surging Sparks are still going insane. I think the booster box is pretty much $200 at this point, that's stupid to me. It's actually like, this is bonkers. I had no idea or couldn't even imagine that a set would go up this high in price within 2 weeks of release. Like this is nothing I've ever seen before. And honestly, I'm not a fan of investing in that booster box at that price. And I think a lot of people are going to have FOMO and they'll be like, oh, I missed out. It's such a good investment. And they're going to try and buy now. And it might end up still being a great investment at this price. But I think if you're looking at this from an investment standpoint, you got to take the FOMO out of it and be like, yeah, I might have missed the boat on that one. And if you just want a Surging Sparks booster box to have a Surging Sparks booster box, who cares? You can buy it at whatever price you want. But I think if you're looking for an investment, sometimes you just got to be like, man, I missed the boat on this one, and just use the capital that you saved from investing in Surging Sparks to invest in something else that's coming up. I'll list a couple things that I think are going to be great investments coming in the next few months. I think the Japanese 151 reprint will be a great opportunity. I think Terrestrial Festival booster boxes coming in, I think the beginning of December, maybe December 6th. I think pre-release for the Terrestrial Festival boxes is pretty decent. You can get it right around $50, so that's not the lowest of the low. Like Shiny Treasure EX you could get for, like $30 something a few months after release. But I think demand for Terrestrial Festival is going to be super high, and people are going to love it for years to come, so I think that'll be a good opportunity. Prismatic Evolution in January, obviously that's going to be insane. The Blooming Waters collection, which is a reprint for 151, it's going to be, I think it was 12 or 14 packs in the collection box, pretty much like the Sea and Sky collection. That's probably going to be, I don't know if it's going to be the last time we get a ton of 151 product, but it'll be a really easy way to get a ton of 151 packs, and hopefully it'll be super accessible and people can get it at retail without it being scalped into oblivion like everything else. So hopefully everyone's money is focused on Prismatic Evolution, and you can make some moves into the Blooming Waters collection for 151. That's kind of going to be my plan. I definitely have pre-ordered some stuff for Prismatic, but I really like 151, and I think this reprint is going to be a great opportunity, and it's coming at a great time where focus is really going to be on Prismatic Evolution, so maybe it flies under the radar and we can get some good prices there. But that's all I got for today. If you're new here, consider subscribing. I put out Pokemon investing and Pokemon TCG content every 2 to 3 days. And do me a favor, let me know your thoughts on investing in this Pikachu card down in the comments. I'm curious to see what you guys say, and I'm interested in having a discussion on it. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and stay safe out there.